Growing up, I had dreams and aspirations, but always felt like the kid that didn't fit in. For the most part, I wasn't a bad kid, but when I made the transition into adulthood, I turned to the streets for guidance. This led to getting locked up in juvenile hall, doing time in CYA, and eventually a 120-month sentence in federal prison. I had a lot of time to think and reflect during my federal sentence, so I share with you what I learned, hoping I can positively influence someone else's life with Prison Talk.
Getting down with Fresh Out, and you tuned in to another Prison Talk. One of the viewers emailed us about Denver, Colorado, and the Venezuelan gangs who have taken over an apartment complex on the outskirts in Aurora. Literally, these guys, which are from a Venezuelan prison gang that illegally migrated over here because Denver, Colorado, sanctuary city, put in that work, and they said we're collecting the rent, and the landlord, the owner, could not get these guys out. So everybody essentially is getting evicted from this apartment complex. Nobody's talking about it really in the news. It's not headlines. They don't want to make it seem like, oh, you know, there's a problem with the people coming over here from these other countries. They don't want to address the fact that nobody's being vetted. There's no screening process. A lot of these people have been let out of prison. It's not the most upstanding citizens. Yes, there are people who've come over here, but the bottom line is they came over and they went through the proper procedures, which didn't allow them to just come over and, you know, get all these benefits. They had to pass certain tests. But right now, you know, these guys, they're not having to go through anything. They're getting welfare, they're getting free medical, sex changes, they're getting everything under the sun, and they don't have to take any type of pass any kind of test, take any test, you know, do anything to show that they want to really become American citizen. They're just coming over here and causing mayhem. Check it out.
It doesn't matter what issue you want to say. Venezuelan prison gangs took over a 99 apartment unit complex, and then instead of sending the money to the landlord, they were collecting the rent. And then it comes out that the city council actually says, well, that's not the only apartment complex. There are several that they have taken over in Aurora, and now they run it all. Now, and you're having broad daylight armed robberies of jewelry stores in Aurora and outside of Denver. Look, Denver's collapsing. Denver has 700,000 people live inside Denver metro area. 70,000 of that 700,000 are illegal aliens. And you think they're going to stay in? No, they're going to bleed out. They're bleeding out to Aurora right now.
Where else? See this situation. I see this as strategic moves in these cities that are eventually going to spread out into the suburbs. See, all these people who say, oh man, everybody should have the right to come over here. Yes, you should if you're doing it the legal way. Not just flooding the gates, not just coming over here. You know, we don't know if you got a criminal record. I can't go to England. I can't go to Australia. I got a criminal record. I can't go to Canada. That my stuff all comes up. I got to get a passport or have a visa. I got to do it legit. They should have to do it legit. They're not being vetted for anything. They're just coming over here. And, you know, to think that these people who have no plans of legitimately immersing themselves in American culture, why is it okay for them to come here and disrupt our society, but when we go somewhere, we have to go through all these different steps? You go, if I fly through TSA, I got to get searched. I got to go. They check my passport. My fingerprints. I got to go through all these different things. And when I get to where I'm going, they want to check all these other different things. And some places they can reject you if they say, oh, you know, you're not the type of person we want in our country. But we're over here. We're not rejecting anybody. We're letting everybody come through here. And then when shit happens, when these guys get in trouble as far as the illegals, because they are illegal, if they're not legally coming over here the proper way, when they get caught up in these different types of crimes, nobody wants to talk about it on mainstream media. Why is that? Why is everybody quiet? Why aren't the local people saying anything? And then the local people, a lot of them, oh, well, we just want to help people. Yeah, then they take all your resources, drain your city's whatever tax coffers. Now you're taxing the local people more. So the local citizens, the taxpayers, are paying for somebody on their dime, but yet they're having to pay excess gas bills, rent, because rent is going up because they're giving away free. So in order to compensate, they got to raise everybody else locally. So these people can't afford to even, pay their rent. Food prices, these guys are getting food stamps, but you're not getting $2,000-$3,000 a month worth of food stamps. I mean, does it make sense that people that are coming here are getting a better shake than the people here who are dealing with the issues, who have been paying into the local society? Our veterans, those here who are dealing with the drug crisis? Does it seem fair to you? I'm just asking. I'm just somebody observing from the outside, and this isn't the only place where this is going on. New York is a mess, and they put out so much money that the local people now are seeing the rise in crime is crazy. The robberies, the burglaries. I mean, it's just these people aren't coming here to get jobs, and the jobs, some of them are coming here to take are those of the lower income. So the black and brown that are here, they're trying to take your jobs. You see what's going on in Philly, the drugs and stuff, and in Chicago, schools that were closed are being opened up as homeless shelters for the illegals, but they couldn't open up the schools to help the kids. They didn't have enough money to hire new teachers, to educate, to bring in trades in these black communities, these brown communities, but yet they have the money to open up these places to take care of the illegals and give them debit cards and give them license and give them, in some places, zero interest loans to get homes. Why aren't they giving that to the black people and the brown people? They wanted your vote, right? I don't know. You guys, if you're cool with it, then hey, just ignore this video. Otherwise, I think you should be disgusted. You should be feeling like these people took a poo-poo on you, man. Because that's what they did. They're just replacing you, and they're getting rid of any sense of community, unity as far as history with the community, because they're going to wipe it out with this whole other culture they're bringing in, and statesmanship. They don't want to have any sense of pride within your state or your city. It's not your city no more. It's a foreign entity. They're wiping out any history, any sense of culture that was there, and they're replacing it. That's what they do when they want to take over a particular demographic and not tell you. They'll just flood it with a bunch of people, and pretty soon what used to be Denver, Colorado it'll be called something else. 20, 30 years from now, who knows what it'll be called. They'll vote and change everything, take down monuments. It'd be a whole nother, city. They're doing it everywhere though, and people are just, keeping their head down. They don't want to say anything. They don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. And this is what a lot of you guys voted for. Your local politicians basically don't care. They listen to the higher ups. They get paid, and that's what they do. And crime, rape, all that stuff. Everybody just acts like, it wasn't my daughter, it wasn't my brother, my sister, it wasn't my family. But what happens when it is? Then what are you gonna do? Not every country's putting up with it. Poland ain't putting up with it. Their crime dropped. They're not letting illegals over there like they're doing over here. and it's illegals, man, because it's not. You can't just go over to Japan right now and storm the border. You can't get there anyways unless you take an airplane flight. But these people have taken flights and they walk right up in here. They say people have a right. You do have a right when you do it legally. It's like with anywhere else. Everybody wants to, have a better opportunity to take care of their family and to succeed in life. But that's not how it works, man. It's not a floodgate situation. And you have people here, I'm America first. And see, they don't want to hear that. They don't want America first. They want foreign first. Your interest means nothing. They want foreign first. That's what they're chanting, and they're laughing. And the same people up there, they talk about the borders. They still sit there and they argue back and forth. Nothing happens. Nothing's changing. Ain't nothing changed down there at the border. It's still wide open. They're still coming across rapists, murderers. These people, man, there's what they said, over 500,000 undocumented kids have been transported across the border. 320,000. They don't know where these kids are now. They just disappeared. What are you guys talking about? That this is not your problem. You don't care. Keep your head down until something affects you personally. That's a weenie way of life, man. That's not the American way. That's a weenie way of life. And if you say something, people are like, oh, well, you're saying something, that means you're racist. I'm not racist. I'm just speaking out and saying what a lot of people want to say, but they're afraid to say it. And our viewers ask questions. Why isn't that Aurora, Colorado, the city outside of Denver, Colorado, why isn't that all over the news?
We talked to here simply say they have not had enough time to find more permanent housing, and they're really caught in the middle this morning.
I thought there would be some compassion, maybe a little bit of an extension to help these people find somewhere to go. They put some paperwork on our doors saying, if you find a place to go, we'll pay your deposit in first month's rent. I bet you $100 to $1, nobody has been put or placed or helped find somewhere to go.
Now, the building's management says that the problem stems from gangs that have pretty much overrun the entire building and taken control of the building. They say
because they don't want people to be, I don't want them to feel a certain way against, illegal immigrants. We don't want them to be discriminated against. Look, man, you go somewhere else to another country, you will be scrutinized. That's just a part of life. Don't act like it doesn't happen in other places. If I take my black ass somewhere and I'm illegal, I will be scrutinized and I will have to go through certain things, get a visa, prove that I have employment, all this other stuff. I just can't walk in and as an American and walk right in and simulate and get a credit card, get a debit card, and get housing for free. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that in these other places. It doesn't work like that, man. So I don't know why we're allowing it to work like that here and they're destroying it. I'm not a politician. I'm not getting a bag off this. They're getting a bag. They got an agenda. They don't care. They live in gated communities. They're securing a position and power so they can keep shitting on everybody else. People who are down here barely able to, pay for groceries for their kids, dealing with, increased gas prices, rent, all these different things, not being able to get any type of assistance and, want to get a home and live in the American dream. They got to, they're looking at some of these places like in Oregon, you got to be an illegal, a DACA, or some other, but you can't be an American citizen or a citizen of the state and get any of the benefits. You literally got to go across the border and act like you just came from somewhere else. I got to act like I'm from Cameroon or Nigeria or Uganda or Ghana. If I act like I'm from Sacramento, I ain't getting no love. I'm just saying, leave a comment, share the channel. Let me know what you guys think about this whole apartment situation where this gang then took over like the Carters, like something in a gang movie. And it's going to spread. Right now, everybody thinking, oh, man, it ain't my neighborhood. But when it comes to the burbs, what you going to do, man? When it comes to the burbs and these people, and they start encroaching upon your shit, they're already robbing all those places in Colorado. There's been multiple broad daylight jewelry robberies out there. These are gangs, bro. These are people they hustling. They do what they do. They were doing that down there. It's over here. It's even more gravy for them. And they got a place to crash at. Leave a comment. Make sure you hit that subscribe, that like button.
Lockdown's over. Get your yard time in. I'm Big Hurt, and I have over a decade of experience in the prison system. Yeah, I've done a lot of time, made a lot of stupid mistakes, but that's why I'm here with you today, educating you on the Mastermind program by Fresh Out. See, they don't give you a manual when you go to jail on how to survive. They don't tell you how to go take a shower, where to sit at when you go to chow, what to do when you have mail call, how to handle your commissary. See, we cover that and a multitude of other topics that are very important, because if you do the wrong thing, you can get your damn wig split. We have over 100 million views as of date on our YouTube channel, but we've put and condensed all this knowledge into this Mastermind program so that you can provide your client with a winning chance. Do yourself a favor and your client a favor and sign them up for our program so they don't have to get their wig split and they can make it out alive.